with Haaretz columnist Amir Oren in Tel Aviv. Amir, thanks for joining us. As we heard there from Fatih, the passing of this bill clearly not going to stop protesters. What is going to make the government change its mind? Are they even going to change their mind? Is there some sort of middle road here that can be reached?
The ruling coalition will not change its mind because Netanyahu needs the support of his coalition partners if he wants to remain prime minister, which he wants to because he needs it as a bargaining chip when he tries for a plea bargain in his corruption trial. So he will do his partner's bidding no matter what. And this morning, we already had the first inkling when the ultra-Orthodox parties submitted a bill for exemption from conscription to ultra-Orthodox youth, which, of course, has already caused the resentment and resistance of the secular majority. What can happen is the Supreme Court, once there are petitions against the constitutionality of this law, which was just passed, may strike down the law, and then we will have, rather than separation of powers, a collision of powers between the executive and legislative branches on the one hand and the judicial branch on the other, with the protesters helping the judiciary.
Well, one of the things that some have said could also possibly influence the government is that there are thousands of Israeli reservists who have said they won't report for duty in protest against these reforms. A country like Israel that relies so much on security and its reservists, could this be something that is key now to seeing things change in the country?
Well, that was indeed the hope before the vote, but regrettably and unprecedentedly, the Prime Minister refused to meet with the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces in order to hear from him how bleak the situation has become. And this is another possible offense of breach of trust. It is unheard of in a country such as Israel, always on edge, always with security problems, that when the top military officer asks to see the top politician in order to tell him the severity of the dangers, the politician, for political reasons and personal ones, refuses to see him. So we will hear of it. Some generals may resign. We may see career officers joining the reservists. The story is far from its final chapter.
Yeah, there are a lot of changes taking place in Israel right now. Some of those changes do seem to be concerning for Israel's strongest allies, one of them being the United States. President Biden says he's spoken to Netanyahu. But does Washington really have the political will to do something to influence what's happening in Israel?
Well, Washington tried to use whatever leverage it thought it had over Netanyahu, and there is also a split in the organized American Jewish community, with many American Jews now supporting the protesters, and some of them only supporting the government. So we will have to see what comes out of it.
We certainly will. Amir Oren, good to get your analysis, speaking to us there from Tel Aviv.